Hello and welcome to CATEX TV. Today is Thursday the 9th of January. Canadian health authorities have announced the first avian flu death in North America. It occurred in the Western Plains province of Alberta. The patient had just returned from China. Canadian Health Minister Rona Ambrose said yesterday, "I can confirm North America's first human case of H5N1, also known as avian flu." Officials said the victim, whose identity was being withheld to protect the family's privacy, had recently returned from a trip to Beijing. The victim died in the western province of Alberta on January the 3rd. Officials warned Canadians to avoid coming into contact with birds in China. Gregory Taylor, Canada's Deputy Chief Public Health Officer, said the death was an isolated case. The Alberta Health Ministry said in a statement in 2000, said that in 2013, last year, there were 38 worldwide cases of H5N1 reported to the World Health Organization. Of those 38 cases, 24 resulted in death. In Japan, at least 5 people have died at an explosion at a Mitsubishi Material Corporation chemicals plant in the west of the country, according to the broadcaster NHK. The local police spokesman in Mie, central Japan, said earlier today there was some explosion triggered by some sort of chemical reaction during plant operations. It seems a number of people were killed or injured. Ranko Hirari, a spokeswoman for Mitsubishi Material, said, "We confirmed that there was an explosion at our plant in Yakochi, where we produce silicon materials. We also confirmed that people were injured. We don't know about deaths." An official at the local fire department said the fire had been extinguished. And now in Africa, more than 200 Mozambican construction workers have gone on strike in protest at alleged beatings by their Chinese employers and poor working conditions. The 230 workers who were employed by a Chinese state-owned construction company to build a 3-kilometer bridge and a 74-kilometer ring road around the Mozambican capital Maputo, have been on strike since Saturday. They also claim that an end-of-year bonus that was due has not been paid. And Royal Sun Alliance Group, the RSA group in the UK, has placed the blame for £200 million of losses within its Irish operations at the door of the men who ran the business. The troubled FTSE 100 insurer said that there had been inappropriate collaboration between a small number of executives in Ireland. RSA basing its comments on an independent investigation led by accountants PwC that the men had undermined control effectiveness over claims. 2 of the 3 men who ran RSA Ireland, the Chief Financial Officer Rory O'Connor and Claims Director Peter Burke, were yesterday dismissed in relation to large loss and claims accounting irregularities. They were suspended in early November on the discovery of the initial losses. Mr. Skikluna, the new CEO of Royal Sun Alliance, welcomed the report's publication, saying, "The underlying business continues to perform in line with our expectations, and I am making good progress on the review of the group. The board and I remain confident that RSA will re-emerge as a stronger group during 2014. RSA's shares have been rallying recently on the back of this good news. Now, the international group of P&I insurers, that's the group that insures ship owners around the world for their liabilities, both in relation to crew, passengers and vessels, will increase its pooled retention by $10 million to $80 million for each and every loss in the forthcoming 2014-2015 renewals. The 13-strong group said the additional $10 million will be retained within the group pool there, reinsured by its Hydro Group captive. During the calendar year, the reserve for the group's worst ever reinsurance claim, the loss of the Costa Concordia in 2012, underwent a further deterioration from $746 million to almost $1.2 billion. This exhausted the second layer reinsurance, which was only partially affected previously, and hit reinsurers on the third excess for the first time. And meanwhile, the 2011 MV Rena container ship loss also deteriorated as wreck removal costs spiraled. And finally, an 88-year-old former SS soldier, has been charged with multiple counts of murder related to one of the most infamous massacres of the Second World War to take place in Western Europe. German prosecutors leveled the charges against a suspect only known as Werner C. for his alleged role in the slaughter of almost the entire population of the French village of Oradour-sur-Glane on June the 10th, 1944, just 4 days after D-Day. The prosecutor's office in Dortmund said that it was charging the pensioner from Cologne with the murder of 25 people committed by a group and with aiding and abetting the killing of hundreds more. Retaliating for the alleged kidnapping of a German officer by the French resistance, an SS company moved into Oradour, sealing off the village and separating men from the women and children. The men were taken into barns where they machine gunned before the barns were set alight. The SS then packed women and children into the village church and set fire to it. Anybody trying to escape through the windows was shot. All told, 642 people, including 205 children, died in the massacre, which became a byword for German brutality. Andreas Brendel, the Dortmund state prosecutor, said the suspect, who was 19 at the time of the killings, denies the charges. Mr. Brendel said he acknowledged that he was in Oradour-sur-Glane at the time and a member of the SS, but disputes any involvement in the murders. That's all from us today. We'll be back at the same time tomorrow. Until then, thank you and goodbye.